Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Debate Network.
That is right. That's right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Wrap-Up presented by Circle of Debate in the Debate Network. Guys,
well,
look at this. Look
what
at this
happened?
beautiful spread that Dylan just laid down for us.
I think it's fantastic, but what happened? I thought we were about to hear a "go fuck yourself" or "how's everyone's father doing" or "let me talk to you."
Marcus, we're not actually on Circle of Debate. All right. All right. We aren't actually on Circle of Debate. We are just putting our brothers and sister over at Circle of Debate, our family over the Debate Network. That's because the wrestling wrap-up that we are about to get into right now is brought to you by Circle of Debate. You can find this always, of course, on the Game Breaker Sports Podcast, but you can find this wrestling wrap-up segment over on Circle of Debate as well. They are live Monday through Friday with watch-alongs from this man. He is absolutely insane. He does watch-alongs. He does Raw Dogging Mondays, NXT Tuesdays, AEW Dynamite with me Wednesdays. He does the Flagship Thursdays. He does SmackDown Tonight Fridays. This motherfucker is the man. And Justin just said, just for you, Marcus, off is the direction you can fuck. I hope I did that in my best Dwayne voice for you guys.
What did I do wrong?
Justin,
me.
Justin's the best. You want it? So
The
I'm gonna.
best.
Do you want? He is literally the Ryan Seacrest of the Debate Network. That guy is a workhorse. He does it all. Anything you want to, every show don't matter. He's there for you. Fantastic.
The greatest wrestling fan.
And I say that as a compliment, Justin. That is a huge compliment.
Ivan
Not
and
many people
Justin are the
jack of all
two
trades.
greatest wrestling fans that I've ever met in my life. And Bakley, I'd say you, but you're a Mark bitch. I'm just kidding. I love you. But no, Justin, Ivan, Bakley, those are like the three hardest core wrestling fans I've ever met, man. I love their passion, their grind for professional wrestling. And that's what we're doing right here. We're in the wrestling wrap-up. Dylan, Marcus, Streets. I know you two boys got the World Elite. I know you guys are just on COD. I know Streets and I have got a lot to express right here. Let's just get into it, right? Like, so we're not going to really just talk about like everything that happened on the Raw on Netflix yesterday. We're just going to talk about our overall thoughts on Raw on Netflix. We're going to talk about Penta's debut, the Corey Graves drama, and then these topics are for these three specifically. Streets, has AEW killed MJF? And then for these three guys, what can you do? What can AEW do to make you watch more consistently? So let's just do a quick recap. How do you guys feel? It's been 2 weeks. Everyone, not us, but the casual fans dogged the first week on Netflix. I felt like the in-ring product was far stronger this week. How did you guys feel about Raw on Netflix in general? Dylan, we'll start with you. We'll swing it and we'll go to Penta.
Yeah, I mean the last 2 weeks have been phenomenal, but I think it's kind of upsetting a little bit of people because they're not sure what time the show is actually going to end. As far as if it's Central Time, is it going to end at 10 o'clock? Is it going to end at 9:30 like it did last Monday? Or I mean, they're not sure what time it's going to end, so they're not really sure what to expect as far as like, oh, is this the main event? Oh, is there something else going on after this match or whatever? But with the street fights, I was expecting, this is the main event, but is it going to go that long to where it's going to last till 10 o'clock? The street fight can't be that damn long to where it's going to last till 10 o'clock. So I was a bit surprised whenever I saw it end, and then I see those little credits at the bottom screen go on, and I'm like, whoa, I said ending 30 minutes early. That's crazy. But they did say before the debut that if they feel like they fit everything into the show they needed to, it's going to end early. So, I mean, they're preparing you already for this. So to people that are complaining about it, still look into what was said before this even happened. But as far as Raw on Netflix, I've been finding I'm very satisfied with it. I think that they are upkeeping it very well. They're not shoving everything down our throat into one show. Like I said, for the debut, a lot of people were upset that, oh, we didn't get Penta on the debut. Oh, we didn't get the women's intercontinental title on the debut. It's not that. It's that they're not trying to overboard it on week one. If you're going to do stuff, you have to spread it out between weeks, or else people are not going to get as excited for the third week, the fourth, and so on. So I think that they're doing fantastic as far as spreading stuff around on different shows. Hell, we thought we were getting New Day versus Ray and his mystery partner week one, and yet we're nearing week 3 and we still haven't gotten it. So they're spreading it out a little bit. As far as the mystery partner goes, at this point, I don't care who it is, really. We thought it was Penta at first, but now he had his banger with Chad Gable. We'll talk about that in a sec. But, yeah, I think they're doing fantastic. And I think really what's really cool is not just because they did the last 2 shows in California. I think whenever they go to other places, it's really cool how they're bringing celebrities there too, because there's people that's witnessing their first wrestling show. The first week on Netflix, I know Kay Adams, she live tweeted the entire show and she was amazed by the stuff she was seeing. And I thought it was really cool how they were bringing in celebrities that are attending their first show when they did more celebrities, and even also having some superstars in the crowd. I think that's a cool touch as well. If they're not going to feature them on the show, at least they're showing them in the crowd. I think that's a really cool touch as well. So 2 weeks in the Netflix era, nearing the third week, I think they're doing a fantastic job. Really nothing much I would change about it. I like that they're doing the thing with the time, like I mentioned, that you don't know what time it's going to end. It's just, like I said, if they fit everything they need to, I'm really okay with it ending 30 minutes early. I was not a complainer one bit. So fantastic job all around. I love what they're doing, and going forward, I think we're set up for bigger and better things. Even though we got really good stuff the last 2 weeks, I think that we are looking forward to a lot better stuff coming up.
Dude, I love it, Dylan. I love it. Usually I would swing it to the bottom and swing it, but I'm going to just retort off something you said really quick. I think that your breakdown was beautiful, bro. Very well put. The only thing I will say other than that is I like the fact that you don't know whether they're going to go 2.5 hours or 3 hours and 15 minutes solely for the fact that, like, that Finn Balor Damian Priest match made you feel like, oh, are we going to keep going? Oh, is there something going to happen after? Oh, that sucks. It just cut you off. Because what does that make you want? It makes you feel like you want more next week. But then next week, they could hit you with a 3 hour and 8 minute show. And it's like, oh, that's cool. We don't, but I get like how like rhythmic people in their lives, like, I want to go to bed at a certain time. I want to do this at a certain time. Lifestyle, I get why you want to know the show goes up at 10. Cool. I'm done with Raw at 10. But from like what we always talked about during the Attitude Era or during the Monday Night Wars was that we didn't know what was going to happen next. And that's what drew us in. I feel like WWE and Netflix is going to help do that by just not knowing that, whether it's 2.5 hours, whether it's 3 hours and 5 minutes, we don't know. So it's going to add a little intrigue to a show that, let's be real, the internet has fucking killed for us. Hey, there he is. There's my buddy Blue. WWE is stupid. Oh, what a good guy, dude. That's my buddy. Thanks for tuning in, my good pal. But yeah, that's really all I had to add to that. But Dylan, other than that, I agree with everything that you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
Streets, Marcus, whoever wants to take it next.
I'll make mine pretty quick here. Outside of Penta's debut, I will also say that Raw was one hell of a show. I got surprised when I found out Jey Uso is going to challenge Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship on Saturday night's main event. We're also getting Braun Breaker and Sheamus, which should be a banger as well. But other than that, yeah, the street fight with Finn Balor and Damian Priest was a hell of a way, especially how it ended. The Women's Intercontinental Championship match was fantastic. I'm happy for Lyra Valkyria, which I said was going to be one of them 2 women. I said the suplex off the ring apron on the floor scared the shit out of me. Please don't ever do that again, because I thought that was it right there for Dakota. But other than that, yeah, I thought they killed it again. And yeah, they're finally getting out of California. They're going to Texas next week. Raw's in Dallas because they're going to be in San Antonio for Saturday night's main event. SmackDown will be in Austin next week. So they're going to be taking over the Lone Star State next week. But I thought Raw was good. I feel like They've been killing it since they moved to Netflix, and I think the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I absolutely. Look, week 1, you get it, right? It's the Oscars. It's their Grammys. It's the pump. It's the debut. They're going to bring in all the big guns, do a lot of promos. They got to get the celebrities there, and I love that. And it's so much fun for me to watch. And then we get to week 2, and then you kind of get cooking a little bit. Now we're really rolling. The matches, obviously, had a lot more of those, and I thought they were all fantastic. We'll get to Penta in a second. I've always been
love that.
I was a huge Valkyrie fan ever since Bakley drafted her for his fantasy team that I took over, and then I actually learned who Valkyrie was after that, right? Big fan of that.
Love Lyra.
I'm just kidding. I say Valkyrie, but now I know who she is really, and she's phenomenal. I was pulling for Dakota on that one, but either way, you go there the whole 9 yards. Every match there was great. Even the street fight was fantastic. That feud's got to end. Everything they've done has just been awesome. I could listen to Seth and Phil in a ring doing promos together every single week if you'd like. It makes no like put them start the show with those two for the first 15-20 minutes every single week, and it's literally going to be electric because you could feel it. You feel it with those two talking to each other. I'm a little down. Don't get me wrong. Jay versus Gunther is going to be fun. It's going to be a great match. I don't know why Jay said he's going to the Royal Rumble first. Maybe a little botch when they were trying to talk there. Obviously we know Jay's not winning that match. Like it is what it is. Should he? Look, I'm not a big wrestling fan. I don't, and this is my only platform to talk about this.
Stop it. Stop it. You are a huge shut up. No, I'm cutting you off. You used to be, maybe 18 months ago, you were a casual. You weren't the biggest. You are a bigger wrestling fan than more people than I know. You're a huge WWE fan. And don't you fool these people. That's all I have to say.
But yeah. Okay, maybe I am now. Anyways, Royal Rumble is fucking loaded.
CM Punk.
So, right?
CM Punk. That's what
all the big guns are there. But the one thing I was going to say is, I said this when he won the match before the match even started. It's the one victory lap I have. I said that if Gunther can't win this match, they're going to paint themselves into a corner with Gunther if he give him the title now. Triple H is gambling. He's going to try to just live off having.
Hell yeah, Justin.
Like
yes,
he's going to try to. He's going to try to live off Punk, Seth, and Drew without a title, because they could do it without a title, and that's what he's going to try to do. But when he does this, obviously you can't put Gunther against any of those three because there's no believable outcome. You ain't putting Gunther versus Punk and Gunther winning. You're just not doing it. It's not happening. You can't do it. So the minute you put Punk versus Gunther, you know Punk's winning that title. That's how it's going to go down. So when they gave Gunther that belt, he's had such a boring. His Intercontinental title run 10 times better than his World Heavyweight title run. The Intercontinental belt right now on Raw is more prestigious and better to me than the World Heavyweight belt is. Do you want to know why? Because that reign has been utterly garbage out of Gunther, and it's not his fault. I like Gunther, but they're dodging the best on that show because they know they can't do it. It should be Phil versus Gunther. It should have happened a long time ago. They're just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it because they know when that day comes, they got to give that belt to Punk. And they should have done it a long time ago, to be honest. That's why they should have never gave Gunther that title when it all went down in the beginning. They painted themselves into that corner, and now they can live with it. Now they have a really boring year of a boring-ass heavyweight title run out of Gunther right there after an amazing Intercontinental run. But it's the one thing that I told you was going to happen before it happened, and it happened. And I'll take that. But otherwise, I loved Raw on Netflix. But it's time. It is time. Paul, end it. Phil versus Gunther, just do it. Do it at Rumble. Do it at Elimination Chamber and get it over with. Get the belt off Gunther. It is a stale run, and it's run its course. It's over.
I just have to do this, not because I necessarily agree with you just said, but just because you have been waiting to get that out for months. I feel like you have been waiting to just say how horrible Gunther is in a public space for months. And
It's not that I hate him. I hate saying that. It's just
no, no. You're right on two levels. One, his title reign has sucked, and two, the but you're wrong. The Intercontinental title is not better now because Braun Breaker is doing what Gunther is doing with the world title. All right. So both titles suck because Braun's title reign sucks and Gunther's title reign sucks. All right. And yes, Justin is right. Give this man the Melissa clip. I love it. Wonderful. Yeah, that was a great fucking speech, Streets. It was. But both titles on Raw suck.
That's fair.
All right. Because Braun Breaker is doing nothing with that Intercontinental title. He's holding it for Sheamus to win at WrestleMania. But big digression. Marcus, talk about Raw on Netflix. Let's move to Penta and move on.
I already talked about Raw on Netflix.
You did. You're good. We can move on to Penta.
Oh,
Let's
shit.
go to Penta. That was probably when I went to re-up. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, my bad, Marcus. I apologize. Penta's debut. Streets, you want to first? I mean, you're on fire. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah. So
Let's go.
So,
I knew you did.
Because this is great. Because I didn't know who Penta was, really. I didn't really watch him. I mean, I knew who he was. I'm not going to say that I didn't. I've seen him. I knew who the Lucha Brothers were. I don't live under a rock when it comes to wrestling. That's why I've tried to watch AEW, which we will get to. I love that this is a topic later on here, so I'm not going to get too deep into there. But, This was awesome. Like, what? Sometimes I just sit here and scratch my head like, this was super cool. Super happy for him. His mask is selling like hotcakes. His shirts are selling like like they ate this up. The WWE universe. The casuals know who Penta is now. And what I love about this most is, like I showed you the picture. Like, he was petty. He literally shared the picture that his social media posts from WWE are now bigger than anyone in AEW's ever had so far in their. So like, he's now more. That's why I joked earlier on the SmackDown thing. Like, he's more famous than anyone in AEW now, especially because he's got the casuals over on his side, which I'm absolutely happy for. But sometimes I sit here and question, like, so he got away, and he's just had a huge debut in WWE. Phil, they haven't gotten any social media traction like WWE since they had Phil. So thank you, Tony, at this point, for number one, choosing Jungle Boy and letting this guy go, because stupid stuff out of you. But thank you. And it was awesome. And I love the whole family thing. His kids are crying. The wife's crying. And I don't know who said it, but welcome to the bigs. You deserve it. Look, when you're a kid and you love wrestling, if you're playing baseball, Tim, are you growing up to say, I want to be a Charlotte Knight? Or do you want to be a Chicago White Sox, right? You want to be
I want to be a New York Yankee.
I get it.
Chicago Cub. I don't want to be a
I get it. I know. I get it. But it's still the main. Do you want to be an Iowa Cub or a Chicago Cub?
A Chicago Cub.
Correct.
Point taken. And
Penta did it. He got called up to play on the Chicago Cubs. Hit a grand slam in his first at bat. Welcome to the major leagues.
And like you just said, grand slam, first at bat. Welcome to the major leagues. Perfect look. Justin says, perfect location, perfect versus opponent, fantastic match. You could literally call to Penta's debut perfect, aka a grand slam. And all I want to do is piggyback off of what Street said very briefly, and then we'll swing it to Dylan and Marcus. Penta's debut was beautiful. Dude, the way the crowd had already eaten him up before he got to the ring was beautiful. The Penta walk, the crowd was all Penta fucking out, dude. San Jose couldn't have been a better spot to fucking debut Penta. You want to debut him in Chicago, somewhere in California, a heavy fucking a heavy Latino area. That's what you needed. And doing it in San Jose was so perfect, dude. You said it, the masks, the shirts. Dude, Penta is the next Latino match start, and wait till Phoenix gets there. We're gonna get Penta and Phoenix to Usos. We're gonna get Lucha Bros versus the Usos. We're gonna have Motor City Machine Guns versus the Usos. We're gonna have fucking Viking Raiders versus we're gonna have so much. My whole point is this though. I just want to be very, very quick about this, okay? How many people have we seen go from WWE to AEW over the last 5 years? Like maybe 90, right? How many people have we seen go from AEW to WWE in the last 5 years? I'm gonna name them on my hand, okay? We have Cody Rhodes. Oh my God. He's the quarterback of the mainstay. Okay. You have Ethan Page, who you could call the quarterback of NXT. He already was the NXT. Oh, 6, I guess. Lexus King. He's got the Heritage Cup right now. This kid has reinvented himself in huge ways. All right. But then you got Jade Cargill, was Woman of the Year as far as tag teams, or tag team of the year with Bianca Belair. You got Cody. And you got Phil, like you said, and now you got Penta. So when you got Cody, you go Phil, you got Jade, you got Penta, you got Lexus King, and you got Ethan Page. Give me a break, dude. From AEW to WWE, these people look so good. But that's all I had to say. Penta looked amazing. Dylan, talking about Penta and Marcus, and then
So yeah, as far as Penta goes, as far as the presentation to the match itself with Chad Gable, Justin said it perfectly. It was the perfect first opponent. I said on COD last night that Chad Gable sold that destroyer so well. The promo after the match, the kids in the crowd, it was all fantastic. And Triple H, he presented Penta so well, and it just made Tony Khan know that he fucked up, and he fucked up by letting Penta walk. And now seeing the presentation from Penta, it makes me wonder how the presentation whenever Triple H gets his hands on guys like a Ray Phoenix, whenever Tony Khan stops adding injury time to his contract, or whenever they can add someone like a Ricky Starks over there, or even bringing back Malachi Black over there. So it makes me wonder, under Triple H management, if we're seeing this presentation out of Penta, then how are we going to get these other guys over there to WWE? He's going to present a Ricky Starks, a Malachi Black, a Ray Phoenix, even better than what Tony Khan did. And for one, I think he did well with the Lucha Bros. They had their run with the tag titles, beat the Young Bucks for the titles, but their presentation was still not fantastic over there. Because Tony Khan, he never let Penta cut a promo, and Triple H let him do it night one, and Penta knocked that out of the park. So as far as the match goes, match was fantastic. For Chad Gable to be his first opponent, it was great. But like I said, the presentation was everything. And Michael Cole said it best. It was the worst kept secret in the company. Everyone knew it was Penta. And because they even gave it away on the debut show, showing Penta on the video. So they released the merchandise, earlier in the day. They capitalized on it, because even before the guy debuted, his masks were being sold. His t-shirts were being sold. They were bringing in that money before he was even shown on television. So I give them an A+ for everything they did for Penta on his first night in the company. It's opening up so many great matches that we can possibly see for him in WWE, but it just makes me wonder about the other AEW guys coming at some point, and that's when their incompetent owner stops adding injury time to all of them. Because we could have seen Ray Phoenix come with Penta, and we're gonna see him at some point. It's just Tony Khan is being a dick and he's holding on to him. Same with Ricky Starks, and it looks like Malachi's done. So we're more than likely see him come back, but this is under Triple H management. This ain't Vince running it no more. This is Triple H, who's doing great things with the company. He's been doing great things with the company since he took over, and it's just to see how they present these other guys, and I think they're going to do well with it.
I completely agree, Dylan. I think when you say that too, it's like how do I word this? Because I've tried to watch it. I don't want to say too much about like what can AEW do, but I'll probably say this again because you said it best with Penta.
Mhm.
The presentation with Penta, like giving him a promo, something I guess AEW didn't do, like giving him a promo and showing his like WWE is better at building a character. And that's what draws a casual fan in, is building the we don't give a shit about 5-star matches that mean nothing every week because there's no character or story that gets attached to it. It doesn't keep us coming back. What they did with Penta, by letting him cut that promo and showing his family, you just built the character. You got people to care for him and his family, and we're happy for him. You built the character first, and the match was great, but it comes after the fact, and that's what WWE does a little bit better. Marcus, go ahead, buddy. Sorry.
Walked in this one like Penta, but let me tell you something.
Oh,
Let me talk to you.
I thought you were on mute again. I was getting ready. Go ahead.
No, I did the Penta walk when I'm about to talk about Penta here.
I gotta learn that. Go ahead.
Before the AEW marks get in our feelings and our thoughts, let me just say I first saw this guy in Lucha Underground, so I knew who he was. I was a fan of him, but I wasn't like the biggest go-to guy at the time. I've always enjoyed him, and then I enjoyed him also in TNA when I got to see him with the TNA World Heavyweight title. And then when he had Ray Phoenix come in as the Lucha Brothers, they were an exciting tag team to watch in AEW. But now that he's on Raw, something about him, it's like I fucking want to see this guy every week. I want that shirt so fucking bad right now. I think I want that white one more than the black one, but I'm probably gonna end up getting the black one instead. That dude is going to feed families. Like the feuds we're talking about now in the future, yes. I do see him down the road win a singles title, especially a mid-card title. I would like to get Ray Phoenix in so we can have them together as the Lucha Brothers and have them go in feuds with like a DIY or the freaking Bloodline or those guys. Like I named like a shitload of other tag teams in my little YouTube short I did earlier this week about trying to get Phoenix in and get the Lucha Brothers back together and whatnot. I am all in for this ride. I'm looking forward to see what else he does for the weeks to come.
Here you go.
Love it. Love it. God, these guys look so good. I can't wait for Ray Phoenix to debut for sure. But let's keep it moving. Corey Graves. And we can be quick about this. I just want to know if you guys think it's a work or a shoot. But Corey Graves, let's be real. Corey Graves has been the best analyst WWE has had in years, right? Since Jerry the King Lawler. And Jerry got really flat after a while. Corey's been great. SmackDown, Raw, Michael Cole, being the lead with Wade Barrett on SmackDown. It doesn't matter what Corey has done. Corey's been great. But when Pat's back, Corey's demoted. Joe Tessitore is here and he's not going anywhere. Corey's demoted. So you got Cole and McAfee on Netflix. You got Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett on SmackDown. Where does that leave Corey Graves? They don't want to do a 3-man booth because Corey Graves has gone on the record to say, I don't like 3-man booths. So where does that leave Corey Graves? He took it to Twitter. He was pissed. He says, so I gave my career for this business. I've done everything that you've asked me, and now I'm demoted. He was down to NXT for 1 week. He was supposed to be on NXT this week. He took to Twitter. He since deleted his tweets. But Corey Graves, work or shoot. Corey Graves, is he justified to be pissed off, Marcus?
I think it is a work. Like everyone wants a freaking Corey Graves Pat McAfee match. I don't know if Corey Graves can get back in the ring. I know it's been over a decade. Maybe he can be clear and it could lead to a match, but I don't consider that as a demotion. Maybe in a storyline he could consider it as a demotion because right now NXT is one of the hottest brands right now. I mean, who don't want to fucking go call an NXT match as a color commentator? Go be with Booker T or go be with who's the other guy? Fuck.
Vic Joseph.
Vic Joseph. I was gonna say somebody else, but no, he's in fucking TNA right now with Aiden English.
Josh Matthews.
No, not Josh Matthews. It's the other guy. He used to be in NXT.
They all look the
He used to
same.
be on Raw. Yeah, but now Monday night, Pat McAfee's going to the national championship game. He's going to College Game Day to call that one last time before he comes back to take over Raw for the next couple months. I think maybe Corey Graves will appear on Raw to call with Michael Cole because McAfee's going to be gone in Atlanta. And when he comes back, it could lead to a storyline. I mean, everybody wants this fucking match because he's going to bring up about how when football season comes, you're going to be gone. Unlike Joe Tessitore, who shows up every Monday night and still calls college football, but you go take like a 5-month vacation and you can't multitask like Joe Tessitore can, which he's got a point there if he were to bring that up. Because we see Joe Tessitore on Saturdays calling games on Fox or calling games on ESPN or ABC, and he's on Raw Monday night. Now you see him on SmackDown. I think it's a work with bringing the football schedules up and everything. I mean, I would like to see Corey Graves get back in the ring. I didn't get to watch much of him in 2014 before he announced he was retiring from in-ring competition and went to commentary. I think he's entertaining. I mean, McAfee's annoying as fuck, but I enjoy his hype man fucking level. Corey Graves, I feel like, is just a mastermind. He knows this. He's fucking better than Excalibur. I'm going to say that too. I'd rather Corey Graves over Excalibur when it comes to statistics or surprises. When Corey goes, what? That's just as better as whatever Excalibur would say. I do miss the whole shut up Byron or shut up Cole or talking about how sexy his wife Carmella is, which we do miss her too. But I think it's all a work if it leads to a WrestleMania match because that's what everybody wants right now.
All right. Yeah, that's fair for sure. Dylan, what do you think? Work, shoot? Would you pick if you were Corey Graves? What's your take?
So I'm kind of torn between it. I think part of it's a work, but some of it isn't. But I could have sworn a while back someone reported that he was medically cleared, and just nothing ever came from it. So was he really ever cleared? Is what I'm wondering. If he is, I mean, could we possibly see him get back in the ring maybe one more time? I don't know full time if we see him do it. But, I mean, if he's talking about, complaining of a demotion to NXT, basically, I feel like, you would target maybe a Pat McAfee for it. Could we see a Pat and Corey Graves match? I'm not sure if I'd be really that invested in it. Or maybe this is all real and he's really, really frustrated with being moved to NXT. I don't necessarily see it as a demotion. I mean, you're still employed by WWE. It's just you have to listen for who your employer is. If they're telling you to do something, then you don't complain. You actually go out and do it. If you're on Raw one week and they say, hey, we need you in NXT, then you go to NXT. You don't fight it. You just be blessed that you're employed by a great company in WWE. But if this is all a work, then I mean, he's working all of us because it looks really good what he's doing. But I don't know. It's like I'm so torn. Like, is it real? Is it not? If it is, then I mean, whatever. I mean, if he wants to complain about it, fine. If it's not, then I'm excited to see if he actually is cleared, like they reported a while back, and if he goes after like I said, maybe a Pat McAfee, or if we could see Wade Barrett one more time in the ring as well. So possibilities are endless if he actually is cleared.
I love it. That's a great take. It's a very 50-50 thing. Could it be a work? Sure. In wrestling in general, how many work shoots have there been? But I personally believe it's not a work. Could it be a work? Could this lead to Corey versus Pat? Sure. Was this ever intended to lead to Corey versus Pat? Probably not. But again, who am I to lay judgment on any of that? I don't know. I'm not back there. As a person, I feel that Corey Graves got fucked, and I think it's bullshit. And if I was in Corey Graves' shoes, I'd be real fucking pissed off because I've done everything that you've asked. I can't wrestle. That's fine. Listen, I understand though. If I went over to AEW, they'd clear me. They cleared Saraya. They've cleared Brian. They've cleared Shibata. New Japan won't let Shibata wrestle. But AEW will let Shibata get dropped on his neck 12 times. Like, they'll clear me if I'm Corey Graves, right? And then if I get cleared, I'm sure my brother, Sam Adonis, can come wrestle with AEW too. We can do some tag team stuff. There's a lot of different layers that we could do. But no, ever since you told me that I can't wrestle, I've been a loyal company guy. And I was great on commentary in NXT, great on commentary in Raw, great on commentary in SmackDown. But now that you're bringing Raw to Netflix. Like Michael Cole just said, this is most people who will ever see us in our lives. You got Michael Cole, who's supposed to be my guy, right? Like Cole and Graves. Like that's the thing, right? Cole and Graves is the thing. You got Michael Cole for the first time in his life yeeting on a table. Yo, I get why Graves is pissed being demoted. I think it's bullshit. And I think he thinks it's bullshit, and he took to the internet for it because it's 2025 and that's what you do. But at the end of the day, I think going to NXT is a demotion, a big demotion. And I don't blame Graves for being pissed. So I don't think it's a work. If it ends up being a work, I'm with it. But I don't think it's a work, and I don't blame him for being pissed.
It is a demotion. You want to know why? Here's why. I don't think, it seems pretty real to me, and it would make sense too. And I get, this is where the casual fan, you're going to tell you're not a casual fan anymore, but here, this is, I kind of am in a certain way, and this is why Graves is pissed, and this is why it's a demotion. The casual NXT is great, right? And it's fun. I don't watch it, but I watch the clips and you guys talk about it, and it sounds like it's fun, and HBK is doing great things, but that's the exact thing. I don't watch it. None of the casuals watch it. So that means nobody's really watching Corey Graves. So he was demoted to a show that 1.2, 1.3 million viewers down to 600,000 viewers or something most weeks. Yeah. That's a demotion. When you're no longer being seen by the casuals anymore, it's a demotion. And as for the Raw thing, look, Corey Graves he's great, and I'll get to where he should be. But Pat McAfee, he might not be better like when it comes to breaking down wrestling, but he's just more entertaining, and he's too electric, and that's why he's on Raw. And of course he's on Raw, and of course because he gets on the tables and he's yeeting, and if you go to a live event now, you gotta hear when the music comes on for Pat, everybody's up and everybody's arms are in the air now, and it's a big thing with Pat. So I get why he's doing Raw with Cole, and I think they're fantastic together too. I think Cole's GOAT status, or we're getting there now for WWE, and the goofiness of Pat plays well with him. Now, I don't know why isn't this is I'm going to ask you guys this. What the titles don't mean shit, right? Who gives a crap about what your title is? Why isn't it Joe and Graves on SmackDown? And why isn't Wade Barrett, who's the worst of all of them, demoted to doing NXT and learning the craft a little bit more right now? That seems like it should be the easy slam dunk. And Graves, and I thought Tessitore and Graves would be awesome together on SmackDown. You don't need, who cares? You don't need to do play-by-play or whatever it is on wrestling anymore. You need both of them. They got to play off each other. They're both just as important as one another are. And I don't get why. That's why I'm asking you guys. Why is Wade not the one being demoted?
According to Bakley, it's because Wade and Tessitore have chemistry, so they wanted to keep Joe with someone he was comfortable with.
Yeah, anybody could build chemistry. Just give them a little while to build it.
Because I said the exact same thing. Barrett, Booker T, bye-bye. Barrett back with Vic. Corey, go with Joe. It felt very simple to me. Yeah.
Because that seems to be your big shots right there. Corey, Joe, Pat, and Cole are your four big dogs. That's how it should be. All due respect to Wade Barrett, but that's just he's the worst of them all. So I don't know. He's not bad, but he's perfect.
Great. And that the problem is they have three great ones with Pat, Corey, and Wade. But Wade is the one who should have been demoted for sure. Yep.
So I don't blame Corey, but yeah. Go ahead.
Yeet.
He went already.
Yeah, I already went.
Oh, well, I don't remember if it was Dylan or Yeet or Dylan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I went first. I thought it was Dylan who went first. That was the last one. I don't know.
Tim's on fire. He's asked him 3 times to go, and he's already.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
I'm waiting for Marcus. I just assume it's on Marcus. When it gets silent, I assume it's Marcus's time to talk.
No, go ahead. MGF, baby. Fire it up.
I went first for Corey Graves.
All right. So we're good on Corey Graves.
We're good on Corey Graves.
Mhm.
Oh, so I'm firing up MJF. Oh,
Yeah.
Streets, I thought you were gonna fire up your boy. No, listen. All right, I'll be swift with MJF.
Oh, no, I got a
all
lot.
right?
I'm gonna fire up.
Oh,
on
I
this
know.
too, so don't worry
Oh,
about
I
it.
know. I'll lead it in. And I'll let you guys rip. All right, because Justin got me to go on COD for the SmackDown watch along for like 15 minutes because MJF was brought up, and I said, well, let me go rip on MJF. All right, so I won't be too long winded here. The bidding war of 2024 between WWE and AEW for MJF. That was a fun story. I personally said I hope MJF stays in AEW because AEW needs MJF more than MJF needs WWE because he's still a kid. He's still only 24. So 5-year contract. By the time he gets to WWE, he'll be 29. He'll be just in the prime of his career. All good. Yo, I have major regrets about that. MJF has looked like dog shit since coming back to AEW. Sure, he went and recorded Happy Gilmore for a couple months or whatever for like 3 lines, but fuck, dude. MJF has looked so bad. And now his feud is with the horrible feud with MJF with Adam Cole. He keeps his stupid ring, and now he's feuding with Jeff Jarrett. Are you kidding me? This is the face of your fucking organization. This is MJF. You got Will Ospreay, you got Swerve, you got Kenny, you got Hanger, you got Mox. Cool, they're all great. But MJF is the greatest asset in that company, and you're feuding him with Jeff Jarrett. I wish he left. I wish he was doing something going into the Royal Rumble right now, going into WrestleMania. I think someone mentioned earlier John Cena. I won't like steal that, but man, MJF could be doing so much more in WWE. It makes me sick to my stomach that he is feuding with, and it doesn't make me sick to my stomach that he's feuding with Jeff Jarrett. It makes me real like repulsed that he mentioned Owen Hart's name 7 times in a freaking story. Then Owen died 26 years ago. Like, why are we talking about Owen Hart to Jeff Jarrett? Like, there's a million things that you could bring up to Jeff Jarrett, but Owen Hart is not one of, like, get out of here with that. That's just, MJF's lost it. AEW's lost it. He should have went to WWE. It's sad. It's real sad. Whoever wants to take it, take it.
Yeah, I will go because, like, when I tried to start watching right before, this is leading up to that Royal Rumble last year, around this time actually, before he left, they actually did take that time off. He was one of the people that had it. That when he'd get on the microphone, it was something I wanted to tune into every week. The promos were great. The character was being built. He had the belt for a long period of time. Like, it was a character that AEW was building, that I was invested in. He was fantastic on a microphone, and I agree. I was like, this has got to be the guy. Like, he's the person for sure. He should be your top dog in this company. And obviously he left. He was injured. And then he went to go do movies. Like, he's doing Happy Gilmore. He's working with Adam Sandler. Like, that's everything that you want your top guy to be doing. And now I'm watching clips since he comes back. I don't watch the full episodes, but like, I'm watching clips and I don't even know what the fuck I was watching on this X clip. It is cringeworthy. I'm going, what? Jeff Jarrett? First off, why is Jeff Jarrett still there? What does he even do? Get Chris Jericho and Jeff Jarrett off the screen every week. End it. Done. Get him off. Over with. And then what's it called? Next up, he's got like the Rudy Giuliani thing going on. He's got the makeup now, just crumbling.
That was from It's Always Somebody. He had the Danny DeVito going on, dude. I saw that.
So like, and it just adds to it. But anything, the whole aura of MJF, it's gone. There's no more aura. Like a year ago, I wanted this guy also in the WWF so I could watch him because he seemed like he'd be great. Put him with the Miz first promo, all this stuff. It was going to be great. Now I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need you over here. Whatever you had is gone. And it's a perfect segue. I'll let you guys, the other two, talk about the MJF thing, but it's a perfect segue onto what AEW just fucks up every time I try watching. So
everything,
a lot, yeah. They're too concerned of way too many other things is the problem over the big things. But go ahead about MJF, Marcus and Dylan. So.
You know, I think Dylan and Marcus already went, so we can probably. I'm just kidding.
I don't have much to say. I just think that they could have done better. Like, I don't want to fucking see Jeff Jarrett on my TV again. Jeff Jarrett's not being fucking world champion. This whole chasing the world championship, it's a fucking joke. And I guess they ran out of options for MJF because you got now the Omega powers, I call them, Kenny Omega and fucking Will Ospreay are gonna be a tag team for a matchup coming soon with the Callis family, possibly against Brian Cage or Steve Blackman on steroids with fucking Lance Archer. No, the only thing I would give credit for is that promo he did talking about his wife who was once a stripper. It's saying about bringing up Kurt Angle, saying about gold medal balls and everything. Like, I forgot how it went, but that was some funny shit. Like, you'd have to read what he said, but like, come on, Tony Khan. This is why your company's falling, and your fucking marks are acting like they're beating WWE in the ratings.
Yeah, so I haven't watched AEW in a while. I love you. And as far as has AEW killed MJF, I think what killed MJF was the devil storyline when Adam Cole turned out to be the devil, along with Wardlow and Roddy and Taven and Bennett. I think that's what killed MJF. And the thing about MJF was I was such a big fan of the guy. AEW could do absolutely no wrong with MJF. But then, like I said, I haven't watched Dynamite or any other program of AEW in so long. And MJF's not doing me any favors by bringing me into AEW because of what I see of him as far as the promos go. It's so repetitive. He gives the same old stuff every single week whenever he is going against somebody. He's talking about either a dead relative, a dead friend, or something like that. And it's so repetitive. And to think I wanted this guy in WWE at one point to where I thought, man, they could bring this guy to a whole nother level. It's just I was worried of how edgy they could let him go in the big leagues. Of course, I'll consider WWE the big leagues every day over AEW. And there was a time where I thought AEW was like that competition to WWE because at one point they were, and I always backtrack to the main events of All Out whenever they brought out Adam Cole and then Danielson. That was like their peak right there for me. And then I feel like it kind of died down or fell to where they are now. And WWE loves to say it, but whenever Punk left and whenever they were in London after the fight with Jack Perry, I feel like that's where the company fell. So these comments are killing me.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not so much that the company killed MJF. I think that storyline with Adam Cole being the devil is what really brought his downfall. And the videos I see of the promos that he gives, it's all repetitive stuff, and it doesn't make me take MJF as seriously as I used to. I used to mark out like crazy when MJF would come onto my screen, and I couldn't wait to hear what he was gonna say. And now I don't care. Like, I really don't care. This guy was once like the most sought out, what would have been free agent if he wouldn't have resigned back before the bidding war even started. Because the bidding war was never a bidding war. But it was never a bidding war because he would have already resigned before 2024 even got here. And I think he made a terrible mistake by not even listening probably to a pitch by WWE at least, because I know they would have brought him in.
And he'd still be great in WWE. He'd probably have fun again. That guy, he ain't having fun right now.
Well, you know what's sad? At this point, he'd probably have to go to NXT. But in the moment when we were talking about it a year and a half, 18 months ago, he would have just been a WrestleMania mid-card guy. Like, it's crazy how far he's fallen in the last year. It's sad how far he's fallen. And that's the last thing that we're going to get into tonight before we ride out.
That's perfect because Dylan almost said it. He doesn't watch it in a while.
That's exactly
I really
why
haven't.
I wanted to ask this question, because I know Streets, you're very casual with it. I know Marcus is very casual with it, and I know Dylan hasn't watched it in a while. And let me tell you guys, I'll preface it by saying that I do a watch along weekly on Circle of Debate, and it's tough for me to watch weekly. So I'm going to ask you guys first before I talk about it. And Dylan, let's start with you. What can AEW do to make you watch it weekly, or make you want to watch it weekly?
I feel like they need to go back to what they were, because they were taking jabs at WWE, and WWE was secretly taking jabs at AEW. I want it to feel like a competition again. I want AEW to go back to where they were at least selling more than half of the arena that they're in, because I feel like they're demoting themselves, because they were actually booking these good size arenas, were drawing a crowd, was actually having something worth looking for every week. And now there's really no good stories going on. I feel like the best story that has happened recently was anything with Hangman and Swerve Strickland. I feel like that was anything that was worth watching for me. Really and truly, there's nothing really worth it, I feel like. And even presentations of your top guys over there, I think that Triple H, the way he presented Penta, I feel like he could have presented these guys so much better. You know, guys like a Jay White, or for one, I got to give him to him, they are presenting Will Ospreay very good. He is very over with the crowd. I got to give him that. But also someone like an Okada. I wish Okada went to WWE. I really did wish he went there. But of course, he was going to go meet his buddies in AEW. That was pretty much a gimme right there. Same with Jay White. But if they're going to draw me back in, you got to be entertaining. You got to give me a story to look forward to every week. Because every Wednesday, and this is no bullshit, every Wednesday, I talk to Jordan every Wednesday. And he says, I'm going to watch AEW. I'm going to let you know if something happens. I'm like, all right. I said, cool, let me know. And he always texts me at 9 o'clock sharp. And he always says the same thing. Ain't nothing happened. Every week he says nothing happened. I'm like, oh, well, I figured that. So until he texted me and say, hey, something cool happened, I ain't watching. I'm not watching, because it's not entertaining to me. There's no good story to draw me in. And I mean, the talent's there. Don't get me wrong, the talent's amazing. But it's them putting over the wrong people. Did you see that monstrosity of video of Chris Jericho whenever you thought he was moving in slow motion, but it was an actual live video? That was tough to watch. And isn't he their Ring of Honor World Champion right now? If I'm correct, yeah. Come on, you're presenting the wrong people.
Bakley, I love you, buddy. Quit trying to tell me that Jericho's there to get a TV deal, because nobody is watching for Chris Jericho in 2024, 2025, whatever it is now.
AEW debuted in 2019. Yeah, people cared about Chris Jericho 6 years ago. Dude, he is the last thing people care about nowadays. And yeah, that slow motion match against Dax on Collision. Oof, that was bad. That was so bad. Marcus, what can AEW do to make you watch it?
Better storylines. That's it. Better storylines.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got the talent. They just have no fucking storylines.
That's fair.
Mine will be a little long-winded, but I'll try to do quickly here, because I'm going to try to say it in like an order that it makes sense too, real quick. So the first thing is, number one, I asked a question like, well, hold on. We'll start here. Let's just forget what I said. We'll start here. Number one, you're right. Better story. How about a story? Just to stick to a story, right? Like WWE reminds me of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? They're great at long-term storytelling. Even if it's stale, if it's weird in the beginning, or if it has a bad bump or a bad promo or something like, but they stick to it. And the long-term effects of it usually is great. AEW is just confusing at times. Like they remind me of the DCEU, like where everything just changes so rapidly. They change characters. Like the Moxley thing. Like I don't even know what. Like when it first happened, it seemed really cool, and they were going to get this edgy, just take over the company, and we're going to take everybody out, and then I don't even know where it went. And the names changed, and then the Edge came out, and I thought that was cool for like a night, and now that not cool anymore. Like it's just I don't know where they go with things, and I feel like missing a week. Everything's different. If you miss 1 week and I watch it the week after, the whole thing, I don't even know what's happening anymore out there. I feel like it's just so drastically changed because they're so big on like their matches. And their matches tell their story is what I keep hearing. And like then the next week, that's all new matches, and those are part of the story. But they need to do better long-term storytelling. The same two people should take each other on 3 times if they're big enough. It should go 6 months between the same two people. It's okay to do that. It's okay that they have 3 matches at pay-per-views together. It's okay if those pay-per-views like Punk Drew, for instance, right? It was the feud of the year, and people were invested. Their promos were great, but they went between 6 months and 3 pay-per. It's okay to repeat the same match at another pay-per-view if you could build the feud and build the story right. I never see that happen with them. And then here's the other thing. I asked the question, like, do you need to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling to understand? And everybody's like, no, you don't have to do it. No, bullshit, you do. If you're going to watch AEW, they do way too much stuff with other people, and it's part of what they do at AEW. The casuals aren't watching none of that shit. I'm not watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. Your stories need to be just internal to AEW. It shouldn't drift over. Your titles from New Japan Pro Wrestling, don't even bring them up when you're on Dynamite. They shouldn't matter. They should just stick to New Japan, and that's it. Shouldn't, if the feud is from Japan and that's where they had a match a month ago in Japan and now they're here. Nope, doesn't matter. Nobody's watching that. Nobody cares about that. You're not drawing casuals in from all those other that are going to watch a week of wrestling in 4 different things to see how this all ties together. I'm just going to watch Dynamite, and the story better stick to Dynamite between the two people every week. I'm not staying up till midnight to watch Japan on a Thursday night. It's not going to. I'm not going to watch it in the morning either. So stop. They got to stop focusing on all this cross-brand stuff. There's 2 Ring of Honor titles, New Japan to end it. Focus on AEW. Get your 2 or 3 titles there. Tell all your stories through there. They should almost end the relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling if they want to. Because you want to know what? It's not helping them. Because it's making things too convoluted and too messy and too hairy, and there's too much. Like, you guys love it. And I know you guys love wrestling, and it's like you love to watch the matches, and you love to watch these cups and everything that goes on it. But those cups are part of the story that AEW uses too. Like I just said, and nobody's gonna watch that. I'm not watching that as a casual. I don't care about the New Japan Pro Cup. They should end these relationships with all these other things and focus on them and just them moving forward. Tell more long-term stories, and then the last thing is they gotta build characters. The matches don't matter. They just don't. Build the character first, then the match matters in the end. Like, I joked with you when I saw that picture of Kenny Omega 2 weeks ago. I was like, that's aura. Mm-hmm. Like, put the belt on him and give him the belt for 700 days and build this guy to be this aura machine that holds this belt, and he's the monster of and it might take a year, but casuals start coming in and they go, ooh, who's this guy? Ooh, that's like Roman Reigns in a sense. It's almost it's like the same recipe there. I thought MJF was going to kind of be that. Seemed like that's where they're going when he had that belt for the year and he had all the aura going for him. They derailed that whole thing. Will Ospreay, we'll see. He hasn't been compelling as a character yet. I get his matches are awesome. And he's an acrobat and a gymnast out there, and he does all kinds of cool stuff. But like, I got to see the character first. So that's the last step. Build your characters, tell better long-term stories. and then end all the cross-platform bullshit and focus just on your company.
God, that was fucking articulately put beautifully, bro. That was so good, Streets. That's gonna be beautiful. Trust me, that's gonna be beautiful. I guess I have so much to say that I'm not gonna say all that I have to say. I'm gonna just try to conceal my points. I watch AEW. What frustrates me about AEW is that I always said when the old man dies, the WWE is going to be such a better place. And the old man didn't have to die, he just had to get canceled. And in 2025, getting canceled is actually better than dying because you don't become a martyr. So no one cares about Vince. We all hate him. So like we don't have to fucking celebrate him because we hate him. But I always said, once the game takes over WWE, it's fucking game over for all other wrestling promotions. And it makes me it's funny because we used to engage in conversations with some real pieces of shit, and they were very anti, and you guys know who I'm talking about, and they were very anti fucking AEW. And I was always like, and this was this is in the middle of Dylan, what you said. This was in the thick of September 2021, okay? And listen, if you didn't like AEW in the thick of September 2021, you're probably a fucked up non-wrestling fan because AEW was perfect in September of 2021. I don't know what, and that's why I used to argue with these people, and they're like,
I know who you're talking about.
and you're such an AEW mark. You're such an, and I'm just like, no, I'm a wrestling fan. Like, I don't understand what you're not seeing. What's going, like, you love the NXT Black and Gold. This other company is literally NXT Black and Gold with like independent wrestlers. Like, it is fun. It's awesome. Like the Adam Cole to Bryan debut with CM Punk, first wrestling match on the same show. I went to a United Center where they sold 13,000 tickets on a whim that CM Punk was coming. AEW did. Now you know what AEW did on Dynamite this past week? They went to an arena that held 1,500 people. Okay, so they went from a Rampage in 2021 where they sold out the United Center that no wrestling goes to in Chicago on a whim that CM Punk would be there. That's not even my story right now. I don't care. But yes, they're just going back to like when AEW was great. They were great. But let me tell you what AEW is now. AEW is AEW is Christian Cage, Kurt Angle, Sting, early AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, TNA. And let me tell you something. While that TNA was a really fun, cool product, it was never a competition. All right. And while AEW was never actually a competition financially, what AEW was a competition with was where a company where wrestlers wanted to go or another place that wrestlers could go to be on television. No one wants to go there anymore. That fucking place, AEW is trash, all right? And the only reason AEW hasn't been trash over the last 2 months is because they had the Continental Classic going. And when you do the Continental Classic, and someone like me actually enjoys wrestling, I've enjoyed the wrestling matches they put on, and they tell stories inside the Continental Classic. But other than that, there's no stories. Where AEW really died for me was this past year when Will Ospreay challenged Swerve Strickland for the world title. There was no reason for Ospreay, who was in the middle of an international title thing, to be just put into a world title match that he was going to lose clean to Swerve. So the dirt sheets came out and said Ospreay wanted to lose to Swerve, so Swerve looked better. Okay? The fuck was the point of that, for Swerve just to go and lose the belt to Bryan a month later? Dude, that was all so pointless. So then Bryan could just go lose the belt to Moxley of all people? And sure, the story was great with the bag over the head, Claudio turning. The Death Rider thing is the worst thing in AEW history. And I am self-proclaimed one of the biggest Jon Moxley fans out there. I think Jon Moxley is trash right now. I think everything Jon Moxley touches right now is trash. He has somehow managed to become a horrible entertainer, a horrible wrestler, horrible promo. I'm so confused what happened to John Moxley. I don't know if it's like because he just got, and sometimes we laugh like WWE, he has restrictions on people. We talk about Mercedes sucking on her promos. We talk about Moxley sucking on her promos. Yo, maybe living within the WWE restrictions is important for some people because Moxley's lost it the past 6 months. The reason AEW sucks the last 6 months is because Will Ospreay or Swerve Strickland or Hangman Adam Page should be the world champion, but instead John Moxley's running. Where is the world title? Where is it? It's in a fucking briefcase. We haven't seen the AEW world title in 6 months. Why do we care? Like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell, but I'm like, dude, I don't want to do these Dynamite watch-alongs anymore because I don't want to watch AEW anymore. It's pathetic. I want Will, Max, Okada, Hanger, and especially Swerve and Kenny to figure out how to get to WWE because I want Kenny in the big leagues. I want Max in the big leagues. I want this Swerve in the big leagues. I'm over all of their Collision Grand Slam main event or Maximum Carnage main event is the Death Riders teaming with the Learning Tree. The Death Riders don't team with anybody, but they're teaming with Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. Stop! Against Hobbs, Cope, FTR, and the out. Fuck off. Fuck you. And Streets, you're right. You do need to understand New Japan because you know another match is Okada versus Ishii. And you're like, who the fuck is Ishii? Oh, he's a best friend of Okada from New Japan. They were chaos stablemates for the last 6 years. You would never know that. Dude, I am so done. Where's Wardlow? Where's Ricky? Where's Miro? Where's Malachi? Where's Ray Phoenix? Where the women's gauntlet match this past week? Where are the women? We have Tony, Mariah, Jamie, Britt, Mercedes, Stat, Willow, Julia, Sheeta. Why can't we get 2 women's matches on one show? I'm done. Stop me. Cut me off. I'm done. I am so sick of AEW. It's pathetic. The product is fucking pathetic. It's pathetic. I'm done.
By the way, Tony Storm, fantastic. The Timeless thing, fantastic character. That was something that was fun to tune into when she was doing that whole thing. Press conference. It was the whole character was great.
I just got worked up. I wasn't trying to get worked up tonight.
No, you're good. That was fantastic. That was magic, is what that was. Like that was great. That was airtime gold.
I'm done with it. It's a shitty show and it's a shitty promotion, and I don't enjoy it anymore. And I used to love it, but I don't enjoy it anymore. Nothing about it is fucking fun. Nothing.
Yeah,
I don't enjoy it. Damn, I didn't mean to dog it so hard, but
no. Go fucking get him.
I think that's all we got. I think we slayed it hard tonight. I'll swing it around the. Do you guys got anything else before we get out of here? Because I think that's how we should end it.
Yeah. You can't top that at all. I think it's a perfect way to wrap up.
Oh, that was great.
And you know what? Fuck you, Tony Khan. You're bullshit. How about that?
There you go.
For you, Poppy.